What's the tallest building in the world?
I don't know. What?
A library. It has the most stories.
It's time for the Children's Hour.
Saturday morning and the rain is pouring. Dad worked late last night, he's in there snoring. Same old stuff on TV, boring. So what if I can't go out and play? I know what I'll do today. I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. Now I like books and they like me, so when I go to the library, I sit down in my favorite chair and check to see who's there. Maybe one book, maybe two. Take me home, says Winnie the Pooh. And if we have to travel far, I'll bring my honey jar. Oh, I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. Sleeping Beauty yawned and said, "Come when I get out of bed." But Madeline says, "Let her nap," and jumps into my lap. The Cat in the Hat says, "Hey, I'll go."
Don't take him.
Cries Pinocchio.
Don't take that cut to your address. He always makes a mess.
Oh, I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. Mrs. Parker's back behind the checkout desk today. The Cheshire Cat jumps on her head and says, "Let's play." But Mrs. P says,
"Goodness, are you sure you want all these?"
"Oh yes!" we shout together. She says,
"Shh, quiet, please."
I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. The seven dwarfs begin to shout,
Hey, take us with you. Check us out.
Then Cinderella grabs her gown and Babar gets his crown. Then Curious George swings from the shelf. Along comes Mother Goose herself. Down the rows we danced and sang. The whole library rang. Oh, I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. I'm going down to the library. Shh, picking out a book, check it in, check it out.
Yay! That was Two of a Kind right here on the Children's Hour. You're listening to the Children's Hour radio show. We're broadcasting live from the Tony Hillerman Library. Hello, everybody. Hi. Hi. There's a nice crowd here. Hi, everybody on my crew. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Let's start over here. I am Katie Stone. I am always so happy to be with you on a Saturday morning. And hello.
Hello, I'm Illy.
Hello, it's Haley. Hi, it's Siobhan. Good morning, it's Sienna.
Well, it's a small little crew today. Oh, and hey, Elias. Hey. Seeing a crew member over here. He's way over there. Hey.
Hi,
Hey.
this is Elias.
Nice to see you. Is there news in the studio before you wander off, Elias? Is there any news? Anybody? Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
The lunar eclipse is on Sunday.
The lunar eclipse. That's right. We're going to find out about that. And it's not just a lunar eclipse. It's a supermoon lunar eclipse. So if you're feeling super and moony, that's why. Or loony. Yeah, and you.
It's the Martin Luther King Year March.
That's right. And in fact, that starts at 10 a.m. and it starts right at the corner of University and Martin Luther King Jr. Drive here in Avenue here in Albuquerque. And it ends on Civic Plaza for a commemoration ceremony. It all starts at 10 a.m., the 2019 Martin Luther King Jr. Parade and March. And it's a great way to honor the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. today. You can actually find out a whole lot of information about Black History Month and all the things that are happening around New Mexico by going to nmblackhistorymonth.com. And also, it's probably worth mentioning, up in Santa Fe, the Women's March is in Santa Fe today, and it is at 11 a.m., and that's going to be marching from the east side of the Roundhouse to the plaza. And there will be speakers and all kinds of fun stuff happening for that. Any other news in the studio? Like, any other news in our audience? Anybody lost a tooth last night? No teeth? All the teeth are intact? Okay. Yeah, right to your mic, please. Pardon, Illy? Pardon,
today's
Illy?
my birthday.
Oh, wait, go over a little bit. We couldn't hear you. Whoa, look out.
Today's my birthday.
Here, let's get you right in front of that mic. Pardon me, Illy, for just a second. Okay, can you back up just a little bit? There you go. And can you tell us a little bit, like, how old are you?
I'm 9.
You're 9. Wow. How does it feel? Do you feel different than 8?
No.
Not at all, huh? Just the same as before. Well, we have a nice crowd here, and if you would like to join us at the library, the Tony Hillerman Branch Library is just 1 block west of Wyoming and about 2 blocks south of Manal, right here on Apache. And it's a beautiful little library. And today on the show, we're pretty excited because a lot happens here at the Tony Hillerman Branch Library. We're going to find out all the things that do happen at this library and maybe whatever library is near you. No matter where you live, stuff is happening at your library. But we're also going to have friends from the Bosque Song School and Sage Harrington. And these kids are here to play. We cannot wait to hear from them. And we're going to find out about this incredible rose garden that's here. And that rose garden that's right outside of here is one of the biggest rose gardens in our state. And we can find out more, all the different unique varieties of roses that are planted there. But in the meantime, we thought maybe in honor of the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we'd play a little of this. This is Jeffrey James Harvey. And you are tuned to the Children's Hour, live from the Tony Hillerman Library.
His religion revealed to him that God loves all of his children and that all men are made in his image, and that, figuratively speaking, every man from a bass black to a treble white is significant on God's keyboard.
Say the fight to make ends meet keeps a man upon his feet, holding down his job.
She wants your nose inside a book, and she wants to see your past. You'd better have a good reason why you are not in class. Shut up in the library. She don't care what you have to say. No noise, no clatter, no chatter, no laughter. We're not in here to play. You against the window, wipe that grin off your face. What do you think you're doing, chewing bubble gum in this place? Don't you lean the chair against the wall, put those legs down on the floor. You over there, she sees you trying to sneak out we're not here to play.
Anne Hillerman, thank you for being with us today on the Children's Hour. You are the daughter of author Tony Hillerman. Can you tell us who was your dad?
Well, the first thing I'd like to say is that my dad was a wonderful dad. I'm the oldest of 6 kids. When I was growing up, my dad, as you said, my dad was an author. But before he was an author, he was a storyteller. And every night before we went to bed, he would tell us stories. And when I was growing up, he wrote his stories in a newspaper. He was a reporter and then an editor. And then after that, he became a teacher, and he taught at the University of New Mexico. He taught people how to write stories for the newspaper, and then later how to write other stories. He worked in the creative writing department and taught people how to write made-up stories, how to write novels, and also how to write nonfiction stories. So he did that for a long time, and he was best known for stories that he wrote about the Navajo people. They were mystery stories where there would be some kind of a crime, and then his characters would work together to figure out what happened to that person and who did it. I had a brother. My littlest brother did not like to read, and so my dad thought if he and my brother wrote a book together, that my brother then would get interested in reading. So they did a book together called The Boy Who Made Dragonfly. And that book, it used a story that the people of Zuni Pueblo had told their kids. As it turned out, my brother still didn't like to read very much, but he liked it better after he'd helped with a book. So I know that you're broadcasting today from the Tony Hillerman Library. And that was the library when I was growing up in Albuquerque. My mom and dad wanted to find a house where we could walk to a library. So they found a house on Texas Street, and that was our library. It was about 8 blocks from our house. So after school, I would go there a lot, and I loved that library. So when my dad died, the Albuquerque library system decided that one of the best ways to honor him was to name a library after him. So that library had been called Prospect Park Library, but they changed the name to the Tony Hillerman Library.
So he actually spent quite a bit of time at the Tony Hillerman Library.
Right.
It was really his home library.
It sure was. It sure was for him and for all of us kids. It was the library where I had my very first job, putting books on the shelf. So I was really, and so were my brothers and sisters. We all were really, really honored when they changed the name to honor our dad. Every time I drive by that library, I smile because it makes me think of my dad.
What did your dad do that inspired you to become a writer yourself?
I think the thing that he did most that inspired me was his own delight in writing. That encouraged me. He also really encouraged me to read and to talk about what I was reading. And if I said, I really like this book, he'd say, well, what is it about it that you like? Or if I said, I thought this story was kind of boring, he'd say, well, why did you think that? What would have made it better? He really encouraged me to become an analytical reader. And I think then when I decided to become a writer, all that I had learned from being a reader really stuck with me.
How many books did your dad write?
Oh, my goodness. He wrote 19 books that were in the mystery series. And then he wrote, like I said, The Boy Who Made Dragonfly. He wrote another book for kids called Buster Coyote's Mesquite Band. And then he wrote maybe 5 or 6 nonfiction books, mostly about New Mexico, and probably some others that I'm forgetting.
Anne Hillerman, you yourself have written several books. Have you followed your dad's pattern of doing mystery novels?
Yes, I started out writing nonfiction books, which I really liked. I wrote some travel guides. I did a cookbook. I did a book about Santa Fe gardens. And then after my dad died, I loved his stories so much. I thought it's just a shame for the stories to end. So the first book in my continuation of the mystery series came out in 2013, and now the fifth one will be out this April.
So for parents listening and for kids listening, the big advice you would give to encourage reading and then later writing is?
Read everything. And even if somebody says, well, this is really meant for 8th graders and you're only in the 5th grade, try it. Try it. You have nothing to lose. And I think also reading out loud is really fun, and it gives you a sense of the poetry of language and the rhythm of language. Writers think a long time before they choose exactly the right word. And sometimes when you're just reading it to yourself, that doesn't come through as clearly as when you're reading it out loud. So if you have a little brother or sister who likes to listen to stories, even read to them what you're reading. They might not understand the whole thing, but they will certainly understand that the love that you have for reading and for them if you read to them.
Anne Hillerman, thank you so much for being with us on the Children's Hour.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been so much fun.
Anne Hillerman. That's fun. You're listening to the Children's Hour. We're broadcasting live from the Tony Hillerman Branch Library here in Albuquerque. Anne Hillerman, the daughter of Tony Hillerman. This is her library. This is our library. This is everybody's library. But wow, we are so excited because Sage Harrington is a teacher here in town, the ukulele and other musical instruments. Hello, Sage.
Hello, Katie. Thanks for having us today.
So happy that you're here. And I want to introduce Celeste. Hi, Celeste. And she's just ready to play. Celeste is one of the students. Celeste, I don't know how old you are, but I don't know if it matters, but you're a kid, basically. She's nodding. Yes, I'm a child. Celeste has a couple songs to perform for us. The first one is an original composition called Dewdrops. Take it away, Celeste. Celeste, well done. You have another one you'd like to perform for us. Anything you want to add to that, Sage?
Celeste, wrote this song called Dewdrops, made the melody all on her own.
It's really nice, Celeste. Really nice. Celeste, I know you have another one that you'd like to play for us. This is not an original composition, but it is a beautiful composition. What's this one called?
It is called Largo by Dvorak, arranged for ukulele.
Very impressive. Next up from the Bosque Song School, which is led by Sage Harrington. Sage, how old are the kids that you teach, Sage?
There's a range of ages here today. Sadie, how old are you?
8.
She's 8.
She's 8.
We have, I'm not sure off the top of my head of all of the ages, but I have a bunch of kids that come to me every week that I teach, and then I have some grown-ups who come to me too.
And I just want to throw a quick plug in here. Sage Harrington and her other band, the Happy Gland Band, is playing today. Am I right about that? Or soon? Aren't you playing? Tomorrow at the at Bookworks.
Yeah.
You're playing at Bookworks.
We're playing at Bookworks tomorrow at 3.
At 3 o'clock at Bookworks, which is just north of the corner of Griegos and Rio Grande Boulevard, next to the Flying Star there. Bookworks, or independent bookstore.
It's my favorite local bookstore.
You know, there's great ones, and it's definitely a locally owned. Yep, you're keeping your money in Albuquerque when you buy from a local company. Mm-hmm. That's true. So, Sage, you're tomorrow in your other band, and that's tomorrow at 3. But today, let us introduce Sapphire. Sapphire, welcome to the Children's Hour. Thanks for being with us. And you're about to play an original composition as well. Do you want to say anything about this song?
This song is only about my friend Pearl.
Wow, lucky friend. Ready?
We're pirates on a mission. We draw a map. We search for jewels. We find them and take them home. We pretend that Pearl's the world. We put continents on her. I carry her to the universe. I scream, the world is mine. Friendship, friendship, Pearl, Pearl. Friendship, friendship, Pearl, Pearl. She's the nicest friend. We have fun together. Our friendship is unbreakable. Pearl's the best friend ever. Friendship, friendship, Pearl, Pearl. Friendship, friendship, Pearl, Pearl.
The Children's Hour debut, Sapphire's song Friendship. Pearl must be very grateful you wrote such a beautiful song about her. That's pretty great. Is there anything else you'd like to play, or is that it for you right now?
That's it.
Okay, that's awesome. Sage Harrington, if folks want to learn more about your Bosque Song School, how can they find you?
Head over to sageharrington.com.
That sounds great. SageHarrington.com. Another round of applause, please, for Sapphire and Celeste. You're tuned to the Children's Hour. We're broadcasting live from the Tony Hillerman Branch Library.
I can read anything. I can read everything. I can explore. I can learn. I can discover. I can name. I can read everything. I can read anything. When I go to the library, those librarians all run to me. And when I walk past the silent sign, I think fine, 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 fine. I am so crazy for books. This is a maze filled with books. Books are the fuel to my dreams, which fly so fast you can't see. Then I go back into my house, check out the books that I checked out. So many things have just begun. This is fun, 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 fun. I am so crazy for books. My mind's a maze filled with books. Books are the fuel to my dreams, which fly so fast you can't see. I can read anything. I can read everything. I can explore. I can learn. I can discover. I can name. I can
Children's Hour, live at the Tony Hillerman Library. We'll be right back.
Supporting our community means a lot to Albuquerque-based Kay and Molly Textiles, which is why they're proud to support the Children's Hour podcasts. Their print studio is committed to creating great jobs that include health and education benefits, leadership development, and flexible hours for new immigrants and refugees in Albuquerque. Find their hand-printed towels at their retail store or in a store near you nationwide. Find out more at kayandmolly.com. That's KEI and Molly.com. The Children's Hour podcast is made possible in part by Meow Wolf. Meow Wolf, your portal to the multiverse. Meow Wolf proudly supports the Children's Hour Incorporated. Sage Harrington performing live for us on the Children's Hour, broadcasting on KUNM. Public radio for kids is what the Children's Hour is. Welcome back. Thank you, Sage. I am so excited to introduce the branch manager of the Tony Hillerman Library. This is the branch manager. It's thanks to this lady that so many things are happening here, along with her team. She leads quite a wonderful team here. And Laura Metzler, welcome to the Children's Hour.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you for having me. And thank you guys for all coming to my library. I love it when you do that.
I guess first I want to ask you, there's stuff happening at this library all the time. And if you want, I know there's way too much to cover right this second. For one thing, for those of you who are not in our live studio audience, Laura is dressed in a very beautiful costume. And what's that all about?
Well, yes, I'm dressed sort of old-fashioned, and I'm actually dressed up because I do lots of programs. I do programs for kids, I do programs for grown-ups, and I actually have a program this afternoon for grown-ups. And you're thinking, you're dressed like this for grown-ups? But yes, it's a steampunk craft program. And so I will put on my goggles and my bowler hat, and we will have steampunk crafts this afternoon.
Ooh.
So I do programs for grown-ups, and all libraries have programs for grown-ups, and they have programs for teenagers. Yes, teenagers are allowed in the library. And we do programs for kids, lots of programs. For example, we have ukuleles that you can check out at some libraries, and you know, if you thought, wow, that was great what Sage did and what her students did, I wish I could play the ukulele. Well, if you'd like to give it a try, it's not at every library, but there's 3 libraries that you can check out a ukulele. Try it out. Maybe go visit Sage. Say, Sage, teach me how to play this ukulele I checked out from the library.
That's pretty cool. And you have Read to the Dogs.
We do. There's a bunch of branches where you can go and read to the dogs, because sometimes reading out loud is a little bit scary. I mean, I do it all the time, but I've been practicing a long time. So if reading out loud sounds a little scary to you, if you have to go to school and read out loud and that sounds scary, you know, you could read out loud to a dog, a really friendly dog who would just sit there and listen while you read. And you know what? They are great listeners. I have never heard one of our dogs say anything bad about anything anybody read.
I love it. I love it. Are you, now, all the information about the Albuquerque Public Library System can be found at abclibrary.org. And
actually, ABQ Library.
Oh, did you guys change?
We did.
Oh, I like that. abqlibrary.org.
Yes.
And you all post a lot of stuff up there. There's information about every library branch near you. And no matter where you're listening, anywhere, wherever you live, somewhere in the United States or even out of the United States, your neighborhood library has programming just like this. There's internet, there's books on tape. I just learned that the library gives away seeds Did you know that? Anyone can come and get 30 packs of seeds?
No, that's not at every
or something
library.
like that?
That's at certain locations. But yes, if you go online, you can see where you can check out seeds. So
Pots and pans for baking. You know, if you want to bake something and you need a super obscure pan and who wants to buy it for one thing?
We have fancy shapes.
You can check those out from the library. So much to offer. But first, let's come back to we're here in this room and we're here on the air, and it's the Tony Hillerman Branch Library. And he did write a children's book perfect for today that his daughter even talked about in our interview. Do you have that book?
By coincidence, yes, I do, Katie. And I did want to show you, we do have the one that he wrote, The Boy Who Made Dragonfly, the one he wrote with his son. But that one's a little bit long for today. But I did think that we could share Buster Mesquite's Cowboy Band, because we've had some music, and I'm dressed up kind of old-fashioned, kind of like cowboy times. So, Buster Mesquite's Cowboy Band by Tony Hillerman, illustrated by Ernest Franklin. Oh, I have to warn you, this is not an entirely serious story. Buster Burro had worked hard all his life. He carried huge loads of firewood for his master, the woodcutter. The woodcutter was a nice man, but he didn't plan for the future. One day, he cut down the last mesquite tree in their part of the desert. Buster was out of a job. Buster was glad. He was tired of working hard in the hot sun every day. Buster had always wanted to start his own cowboy band. So he took his old guitar, his only possession, and started down the road to fame and fortune. He decided to call himself Buster Mesquite in honor of all the trees his master had cut down. Buster hadn't gotten far on the road of opportunity when he came across an old coyote sunning himself on a warm rock. His name was Harold, but everyone used to call him Moondog when he played for a rock and roll band. Buster was excited to find him. Buster explained his plan to start a cowboy band. "Yes, I'm the old Moondoggy," the coyote said, "and I've done a little howling in my time, but I play lead guitar. You can take drums." Buster was disappointed, but he agreed. The two singing cowboys had only gone a short way down the path to greatness when they came across a strange sight. A wildcat girl in a cowgirl outfit was caught in a huge steel trap with cruel iron jaws. She was crying. Buster asked why she didn't just tear her dress and get out of the trap. "I can tell you boys don't know what an outfit like this costs. A pretty penny, that's what." She said her name was Kitty, and she just happened to play country fiddle. They signed her up for the band right then and there. She went home to get her violin. Early the next morning, as they started on their way down the path of least resistance, they heard an amazing sound over the next hill. They went to investigate this wonderful wailing. Buster, Moondog, and Kitty couldn't believe that one black crow was making all that noise. He even woke up the scarecrow. His voice was so powerful. They needed a lead singer. "From now on, your name is Hank, in honor of the best there ever was," said Moondog. "You've got a voice to wake the dead," said Kitty. They went on down the lonesome trail, singing as they went. They weren't too good, but they were plenty loud. The band didn't know it yet, but they were in the territory of a band of notorious bandits. The robbers made their living taking things that didn't belong to them, which wasn't a very nice thing to do. They weren't nice men. Some of them didn't brush their teeth. And none of them ate their green vegetables. Every chance they got, the band practiced and practiced because that's the only way to get ahead on the road to greatness. They didn't get much better, but they sure were loud. One day, as they walked the straight and narrow, they came across a spooky old ranch house on the rim of the mesa. When Hank peeked through the dirty window, he saw 3 masked men about to eat dinner. He didn't know they were notorious robbers. He thought the scarves were to keep their whiskers out of the beans. Buster wanted to serenade the men with their latest tune, Ghost Riders in the Valley. We'll sing for supper. Oh, my, the noise. Those rough, tough thieves ran like the cowardly skunks they were, and they never looked back. That really hurt the band's feelings. They weren't that bad. Then the boldest of the bandits decided to come back for a look-see. No posse's gonna run me off my loot, he snarled. But he didn't find a posse in the old hideout. He found his worst nightmare. Devils clawed him, monsters kicked him, witches shrieked in his ear. He'd never been so scared in his whole life. He and his partners rode like the wind and never came back. 2 of them got jobs, and one of them started eating his vegetables. Buster and the band had a nice hot dinner and a warm place to sleep once they changed the dirty sheets and pillowcases. The next day, they got to work cleaning up the place. They couldn't give the robbers' loot back, but they could put it to good use. And they kept on practicing, which was the right thing to do. Buster beat on his drums, Hank strummed the old guitar, Kitty fiddled on her violin, and Hank let loose with the most amazing vocals anyone had ever heard. People came from miles around to hear them. Buster Mesquite's Cowboy band may not have been the best, but they sure were the loudest, and everybody loved them. And that's Buster Mesquite's Cowboy band.
Fiddlestick Joe, down from the mountain to the valley below. Fiddlestick Joe, dancing and a fiddlesticking everywhere you go. I got a shovel, my wife's got a hoe. That ain't farming, buddy, I don't know. Chicken in the bread pan, picking out dough. Granny does your dog bite, no child, no. Fiddlestick Joe, down from the mountain to the valley below. Fiddlestick Joe, dancing and a fiddlesticking everywhere you go. Cornstalk fiddle and a shoestring bow. Wouldn't play nothing but a fiddlestick Joe. Play it all fast or play it all slow. Don't play nothing but a fiddlestick Joe. Play the fiddlestick Joe. I went out east to Tokyo. People everywhere play the fiddlestick Joe. Fiddlestick Joe, down from the mountain to the valley below. Fiddlestick Joe, dancing and a fiddlesticking everywhere you go. Dancing and a fiddlesticking everywhere you go. Dancing and a fiddlesticking everywhere you go.
The Okie Dokie Brothers from a CD called Through the Woods. You're tuned to KUNM FM, and we are broadcasting in the Children's Hour, and we're broadcasting live from the Tony Hillerman Library here in Albuquerque. Thank you so much to everyone who's come out. And I am super excited because we have another student from the Bosque Song School with Sage Harrington. And Linus, are you ready? Linus is ready. How old are you, Linus?
6.
He's 6 years old. This is his original composition called Tengo una Ukulele. Take it away. Thank you, Linus. And next up, we have Gila. And Gila has got another unique composition that she wrote. And Gila's been with us on the show before. And so welcome back, Gila. Yeah, Sage, you have something to add here?
This song is called Wasabi. It is, I have a puppy who occasionally sits in on some of the lessons that I teach. And so there's a bunch of different names we were going through. Do you want to put that sheet of paper on that chair, and that will be the music stand for today? I used it earlier. It worked well for me. And so this is the song, one of the many songs that has been written about my dog.
Okay. Wasabi. Eat it. Sushi. Put it on wasabi. Eat it. Salmonella. Beat it. Wasabi. Eat it. Watermelon. Smash it on wasabi. Eat it. The flu. Beat it. Wasabi. Eat it. CDs. Spin them on wasabi. Eat it. Ebola. Beat it. Wasabi, 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 wasabi.
Gila from the Bosque Song School with Sage Harrington performing Wasabi live at the Tony Hillerman Library branch. Well, here with us at the library are two people who are responsible in part for the amazing amazing rose garden that is right outside here. It's called the Albuquerque Rose Garden, and you are from the Albuquerque Rose Society. I want to welcome Bill and Claudia. Welcome to the Children's Hour. Thank you for being with us from the Albuquerque Rose Society.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you. You all have this gorgeous, gorgeous rose garden. Can you tell people about it who maybe have never been here?
Sure. Is there anyone here who hasn't been in the rose garden?
Well, I'm guessing there's people listening on the air
Yeah, I know
who
there
haven't
but
been there.
Nobody here at the Children's Hour hasn't been there, has there? Everyone loves to look at the rose garden. We have 1,200 rose bushes in the rose garden. The garden was actually put on this property in 1964 when the library was called the Prospect Park Library, and it has been here ever since. The Albuquerque Rose Society totally maintains this garden through volunteer help. The city provides the water and the land, and we do everything else. We have spent, this last year, we spent 645 volunteer hours in the garden. There were 51 people who participated in that 645 hours. We do pruning in March. We spent about 395 hours pruning the roses in March, and we will do that again this year.
Now, Bill, how many different kinds of roses do we have here?
Almost every kind that exists. Wow. We've got species roses, which are, the old original wild roses, hybrid tea roses, floribundas, miniatures, some moss and centifolias.
Old garden roses
Old
of
garden
all types.
roses, climbers.
That's fantastic. The Albuquerque Rose Garden is located right over here at the corner of Apache and Wisconsin, and it's always open. You can go at any time and wander through. What is the peak season where everything's blooming and we should all make sure we wander through? Is that June?
Early May.
Early May.
Early May.
Yes.
And is it okay to cut a rose?
No.
No. Don't cut
No,
the roses.
Our belief is that roses are there for everyone to enjoy, and so please don't cut them and take them home.
If folks want to find out more about the Albuquerque Rose Society, is there a place that they can go online and learn more about you?
AlbuquerqueRose.com.
I want to thank you, Bill and Claudia from the Albuquerque Rose Society. I urge everyone to come check out this magnificent garden. If you've never seen it in the spring when it's in full bloom, it is spectacular, and you do a fantastic job. Many thanks from all of us in this city to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're tuned to the Children's Hour.
Love is a rose, but you better not pick it. It only grows when it's on the vine. Handful of thorns and you know you've missed it. Lose your love when you say the word mine. I wanna see what's never been seen. I wanna live that age-old dream. Come on, boy, let's get together. Let's take the best now. Love is a
Mana mana. Mana mana. Mana mana. Mana mana. Mana mana. Mana mana.
You're listening to the Children's Hour. We're broadcasting live from the Tony Hillerman Branch Library. Many thanks to everyone who came out today. It's been a really great crowd.
The Children's Hour is a production of the Children's Hour Incorporated. Public radio for kids and families.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Links, podcasts, and more are at childrenshour.org.
And many thanks to the City of Albuquerque's Cultural Services Department, especially Hakeem Bellamy and Dean Smith of the Albuquerque Public Libraries. Thank you also to Laura Metzler and all of her team here at the Tony Hillerman Library. Thank you to Anne Hillerman, who lives in Santa Fe, and to Winning Coffee on Harvard Street. They hosted our interview this week very graciously. Thank you to Andres Martinez. He is engineering the show right here live. And many thanks to Jerry DiTata and Mark Gilbord back at KUNM for their engineering support. For the Children's Hour, this is Katie Stone. Find out more about us and sign up for event invitations at childrenshour.org. Thank you to all of the audience for being with us here on the Children's Hour. Thank you. You've been a wonderful audience. We thought maybe we should go out with just a little of this. This is Ralph Covert from a CD called At the Bottom of the Sea.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. I wanna know what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me.